to the Hydeout, another episode for you guys, Loki Wednesday. We got a good show. We're going to cover a little bit of news, and then as well as, again, get into the episode of Loki. It was the last episode last Thursday. So we're always going to be a week behind, but again, gives y'all an opportunity to watch it, again, to be all fairness with y'all guys.
Yeah, let everybody catch up just in case, because, I mean, over the weekend people can watch it, you know, everybody catches up, but not everybody work, you know.
And then again, we always go back to there's the binge watchers. They let them all come out and they just go through it.
So y'all just catch these up all at once too.
That I commend them because again, I like that concept again of waiting for the thrill of the next episode. It
brings you back to like when
you're little, because this whole like just here's it all, and then the being able to access to, stream it, go all the way through it, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it takes the fun sometimes. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy it. I, do the whole, skip the intro, etc., the flow of it. But yeah, I remember those days of like commercials and running back to the couch and jumping over, because you're about to, miss it, So yeah, it was definitely brings back those type of memories.
I read something, like an article somewhere, that they're saying that shows that come out weekly actually have
a higher
viewership, and also people enjoy the show more than just binge watching all of it at once.
Yeah. So. Interesting. I wonder how many did they do for that survey? Because I like it. I like that. Again, it just brings back memories. So I enjoy it. So, but. Alrighty, guys, but yeah, we're going to go off of that, and then we got to get into some news. So, first things first, the news, as always, one of the best ones in a while, good news. I think so, because again, I haven't bought a hard copy here lately, so I'm not, listening to my own words, but Spiderman Far From Home is coming to Disney Plus on November 3rd. So it's the second one because it was Spider-Man Homecoming, so it finally went on there. I don't know what date it did.
I don't remember.
Sometime this year.
Yeah, it was like a few months ago, I think.
And then, before the summer, I want to say something like that. Something like that. And then this is the second one. So the next one will be No Way Home, and they haven't had news on that one.
Nothing. There hasn't been any.
The way I described it to Bree was, I think the way they have it contracted, maybe once Sony sees that they're not making money off of it, it's starting to flatten out, they're not making a huge profit. That's when they'll allow it to move over to the platform. Yeah. I was like, maybe I think that's what it is. But they had it was on Showtime, and on some Indian website, I can't remember, it said or something like that. So maybe they're just contracted with Showtime. As soon as it comes out, it needs to go on their platform. You know what I mean?
It might be because Sony probably owns Showtime, or Showtime owns Sony one way or another. And
I didn't do that.
There are contract obligations for it because they're like, if we own you or you own us, why give it out to anybody else right away? Yeah. So, I can see it.
I can see that. Definitely see that. So, so good. I'm glad. Again, it's two more. Again, I've not been. So tell me what you think. This is where I'm going with this. Do you like the bundle packages or do you like individual disc box set?
See, that's a hard one for me because I love bundle packages.
Really?
I love it when you give me the set and it has little I got my daughter and my wife the Harry Potter book set. I bought the whole bundle and it has little designs on it and everything. I just love it.
Like a background
all the covers match up together and it just looks cool. But at the same time, I ain't above buying each individual because I was like, if I could buy each individual, that's fine with me too. Yeah. Sometimes it's cheaper than buying the bundle.
But does that throw? Because again, this is where I got I have the Marvel movies, right? And I skipped it only for the fact that I liked Endgame and so much. No, Infinity War so much that I got that one. But I went for the Blu-ray, and now like all my other DVDs are like regular DVDs, and then it's like that small Blu-ray, disc pack box, and I'm just like, oh, I can't stare at it, I can't look at it, like, you know what I mean? So I feel like I made a mistake, you know.
See,
what I mean?
that's one thing I wanted to get the bundle of was the Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
I saw that, I was like, but
I wish I didn't have that kind of money.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. I was like, I don't have the money for that just yet.
I think Double O Badger, shout out to my friend there. I think he has the Time Stone one. Package where where it was getting the Time Stone was the main stone or whatever.
Yeah,
it's pretty. I think it's pretty cool. The Tesseract, one of the two.
That'd be
But
cool.
he got one of the packages that had the DVD set and then the Infinity Stone.
Oh, that's cool.
It was I was like a collector's item. I was like, yo.
Dude,
I was like, so I wanted again. My collecting habit came in like late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like wanting collectibles and stuff like that. Or how do I say? I'm a grown adult, like a kid at heart now, and I have the money to buy.
Yes, I see those all the time. It's just like when a kid gets grown up money.
And it's the Green Ranger on the bike.
Yes. And I was like, it's totally true because now, like, when I had money to spend before everything happened, I went on like a little Pokemon shopping spree, and I went off for like I think the 20th anniversary.
That was the Pikachu, right?
Yeah, the Pikachu. I have the Nintendo 3DS, the Pokemon 20th anniversary edition with the Charizard on it.
Wow.
It comes with the
3DS. Wow.
It has the blue and red versions already downloaded in it.
Nice.
I had bought Pokken Tournament when it was coming out because it was around that time too. And then the lady that was, I think I told you this story. The lady that was, because I went in there to finish pre-ordering all my stuff, and I was on the GameStop, and she's like, "How much do you like Pokemon though?" Because she saw all the stuff, and I was like, "Is there anything else for me to pre-order or what? Like, tell me, I need to know."
Wait, why are you asking this question?
And she's like, "Well, hold on," and she goes to the back and comes out with those card displays.
The thing you said it was empty already.
Yeah. She comes out with the card display. She's like,
free?
She's like, if you want it, you could take it. We were just gonna throw it out. And I was like, she's like, I don't know if you have room. I'm like, I'm gonna make room. Don't question that. There's room somewhere.
Sold.
She's like,
yeah, when you brought it past that door, like,
dude, if I could only imagine the way I looked bringing that out. I'm like, and my wife's like, what's that? I was like, they were getting rid of it. I took it. They said I could have it, put it in the car.
Sorry.
Like, it got a little scrunched up because the car wasn't wide enough for it at the time. Yeah. But I had it like poking out the window just a tiny bit. Dude, it was coming home with me.
Don't swear.
I would have walked home with it. Like, I didn't live that far. Like, it was like, I think like a mile and a half to my house. I was gonna walk home with it if I could have fit in my car.
Dude, again, that's a 1 in a million, chance. I think I read a story one time similar to that where they got rid of like the demo game that was like screwed into it like with these unbreakable screws. It came with the little TV and they just like gave it away. Like it was just like demo game with the controllers to play that and, over and over for free. Like
dude,
I was like, yo. What
are
the chances?
Cool.
Like, what are the chances? Even then, again, that goes back to like Walmart. You know what I mean? I miss those days. Granted, again, now I'm older, and I think it would hurt worse is when you're looking at the screen and you're just up in the air like David. It's just like you look at us like
you're over there just like
how long was I here?
No, for real. You're like, where am I?
Yeah, straight up. So those are freaking good memories, man.
Yeah, dude. I totally agree with you on that one.
That was good. But all right, next piece of news.
Back to the news.
We have just some clarification. So I think we might have gotten it wrong the last show. I think we were putting them like kind of the same that were done or something.
I don't think
like
we
that.
specified. We just said the strikes overall.
Yeah. So clarity is the SAG-AFTRA strike is still going on. That is the Screen Actors Guild, and those are the actors. So in that sense, the actors can't act. The films are not being filmed. and they're not casting anybody because they can't do anything. They're frozen basically. The Writers Guild of America, the WGA strike is over. I think 2 weeks ago, or some time now, and now that is good for us because now the movies are being written, the TV shows are being written. So with it being written, I think we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're not at a complete standstill, which I think I'm glad. You know what I mean? Like I was getting worried there. And so that's why you see.
Honestly, I think that's a pretty cool concept too, because just the fact of the screenwriters are gonna write it, everything's gonna be done, and it gives people more time to kind of go over the script,
the material. You think?
Yeah, the material, and be like, oh, okay, let's do it, maybe change this or whatever. But then as you're reading it, all the actors are on strike, so you can't even be like, hey, this won't be good for it. Now at this point, everything's paused. The more you read it, that character or whatever that
they have a chance of like watching a movie or something and be like, you know what? Scrap that other guy. This is the guy. This is what we need. I didn't think about it like that. Yeah.
I'm like, that just seems like
no more rush casting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
not who's big at the moment. Because at the moment,
is it? Fan casting. You know what I mean? Like so.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say this, and hopefully nobody gets mad at me.
Controversy.
But the fan casting with Chris Pratt as Mario, I didn't mind him as Mario after watching the movie, but when I saw the trailer and I first went into the movie, I planned on hating his voice entirely as Mario.
I think you're telling me.
Yeah, it came out okay.
And then you, throughout the movie, you really didn't even realize it was Chris Pratt, you know what I mean?
Yeah, as the movie went on, it was just like, okay, he's not doing the Brooklyn accent, and he's not doing the, like, Italian accent at all. It was just like, it was just Chris Pratt. And I was like...
But it worked. I thought he did a Brooklyn accent. He was
doing he did it in certain parts.
Oh, okay.
Like it was that was like a bit for the Mario in there. But
no, that's when he did the Italian accent. Was when he did the little commercial with Luigi.
He did do that I think that was Brooklyn accent for that one. But he did have like little accents here and there, but it wasn't crazy. He just did.
Yo, did you hear this theory? The theory was. That they were talking about the older brother. There was a brother that wasn't there, and the theory was the older brother because the only Mario that wasn't Mario rendition was Dr. Mario. And so everyone was like saying, you're just a plumber, breaking on Mario because Dr. Mario is his older brother.
That'd be awesome.
So I was like, what? So there was a theory about that. So
the only issue with that is that I'm like, Mario is the first name?
Yeah. So
you're going to have two sons named Mario?
Oh, I didn't think about that. Doctor? Maybe Doctor's first name? We're gonna fool the world and we're gonna name him Doctor.
He's gonna be that exactly.
There you go.
Well, what's his middle name? Mario.
It goes to the Doctor Strange part where he's like Doctor.
Yeah,
that's a weird name.
He's like that's he's like it's strange. Who am I to judge?
Yeah, dude, that was a good one. That's a good tie back.
Oh man, no, yeah, that's an interesting theory. It is, but
right. I was like, that's interesting to think about. Let's see, Junebug 26. I was very skeptical about Chris Pratt as Mario too, but I think he did really well. The movie itself was dope.
Yes,
I mean,
like I said, like it was overall good. I just went in there wanting to hate the voice, I think.
Yeah.
Because I was like, no, and especially because they had
built it around that hate.
Yes,
again, it goes back to the media nowadays. It just like punches you with.
Well, especially because they had the original Mario voice actor in there for like a quick second.
But still, even to be alive, I would have understood if he wasn't around. Yeah. You know what I mean? But to go for the name, the big name, the show light name, like I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I said it was like fan casting.
Jack Black was perfect as Bowser. Yes. He enveloped the character.
He's Bowser now. There's no way around it. Like from now on, like there's been a few times where people, like the live action Scooby Doo. Shaggy.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I do not know his name. I'm sorry.
His voice is.
But he was so good as Shaggy that they actually casted him into the animated voices for him.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, and so with that, I was like, if they ever do more Bowser stuff, if they ever do any like word like lines and stuff for Bowser, I would love Jack Black
to continue
in those the freaking.
Shout out Matthew Lillard. There we go.
There you go.
I had to find it out. Isaiah Carrasco says, "What's up, boys?
How's it going,
What's
Isaiah?
going on, bro? We here off topic again, but we
well, it's kind of topic because we were talking about the actors,
the writers,
stuff.
yeah. So, but yeah, Imagination's going hard.
Yeah,
They're going hard as far as like.
No, wasn't it Illumination?
Illumination. There you go. Sorry, misspoke. But Illumination, they're going hard, and I really hope the theory of where they're gonna do like the whole line of games like Link and.
Dude, I just hope they do a Smash like the Smash Bros. Is basically the Avengers for video games. Give me that. Give it to me.
That's what I'm saying. That was the theory. I was like, if they do that, that'd be so dope. Like,
but you have to have the original 8, and the only one I could possibly see trouble with is Kirby.
You see trouble with Kirby?
With them doing like a live action. Can you imagine Kirby live action?
I can see a Kirby live action.
It just
as long as we get people that fight back if it turns out terrible and they do like Sonic. You know
yes,
what I mean? Like,
that is true. That is true.
What are we looking at here? A Jigglypuff?
I mean, we already have. Jigglypuff and Detective, dude, the Pokemon Detective Pikachu were amazing.
I was about to say, if they can do it just like that, was good imagination for that. You know what I mean? Like that was a really good way to bring them into real life.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Like,
it
was so
Charizard looked legit. You know what I mean?
The Snorlax in the back was
bro. My boy Snorlax, bro. I love Snorlax. Mr. Mime.
Yeah.
Mr. Mime.
Oh, I love him. He's like, and he sits in the chair like, and they pretend to put, dude, that whole skit was amazing. I loved it.
And that's because I like Mr. Mime, man.
Dude, it was good. Jim Carrey as Dr. Eggman was another great casting. Yeah,
no, for sure. For not being the character, the big character he was, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like,
no, I did like how they had transitioned him from the first one, and you're like, I really was upset. I was like, that's not Dr. Eggman, but whatever. I'm gonna get Jim Carrey. I give a pass.
Yeah,
it's Jim Carrey. But then the second one where they make him with the
mustache,
and then the balding head,
and then the little like craft that he goes in and stuff.
I was like, okay, you're doing a whole lot better. But I heard that he's either taking a break or retiring from acting, and I was just like, they can't do that. They can't recast him.
When Shadow is coming, dude, with that little Easter egg with Shadow.
Yes, that was so good. I'm looking forward to that because Shadow Knuckles was my favorite. Then Shadow.
What do you think about Idris Elba as?
I liked it.
Did you?
I honestly liked it.
It was alright.
It was pretty good.
It was alright for me. I really had trouble. I don't know. To say who the voice casting I would do, I really wouldn't know. Again, I'm terrible when I think
because the deepness that he brought to it, it just fits like Knuckles' persona, like his tough, and then the he's like almost like Drax, where it's just like things don't fly. Yeah.
Very literal or whatever.
That was Knuckles, and I was like, he just did really, really good as that.
Yeah, so okay, but I again, it was hard for me. I think I would have to rewatch it. Maybe rewatching it might spark an interest, but it was tough for me. Did Sonic's original voice actor come back? That I'm curious about now. Speaking of voice actors,
from the first one, to the second one, I think so.
Okay, I was like just to make sure. I didn't know for sure. Okay, back to the, I think that's the end of the news, matter of fact, but nonetheless, again, I think, I hope you're right on that, just to close it out. I hope you're right that now with this little bit of strike and offset, it will off balance the bad castings that we've been getting to get to where we want.
Like I think you encapsulated it perfectly. The fan casting versus the actual this person will be good for the spot. Not just the big name, because at this point there's no big names. Everybody dropped.
Yeah.
everybody should be technically on even playing field, even though there's those actors
the ones that caught the last wind of the
Yes.
movies that are coming out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
So-
it was along the voice acting. I was gonna say. I already forgot. It went away. It must have not been important. So, but yeah, I'm excited to see what they do as far as with that weight. It'll make it worth it. Oh, Jack Reacher. So we talked about it about Tom Cruise played it for the movie Reacher.
Yeah.
And then they had this guy for on Jack Reacher on Prime, Amazon Prime, right? He was the body type of the book character in the book.
Yeah.
Everybody was upset with the casting of Tom Cruise. You know what I mean? Because the character was built around this huge, 6'2" football built, dude.
It was husky.
And so it was.
Well, I mean, that could be the same thing with. Oh my gosh! Why did your name blank out on me right now? Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Everybody was pissed off about that originally, but now you can't distinguish Wolverine from Hugh Jackman.
From anybody else.
Because everybody's like, Hugh Jackman's taller, he's like, Wolverine's supposed to be shorter and stocky.
Mm-hmm.
Not.
I remember
so,
that.
yeah, when that happened, I was like...
And that's why they're jumping so hard on Taron Egerton to get it, because he's like shorter, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But yeah, hopefully everything goes good, hopefully.
Speaking of acting, let's go back to Loki.
Let's swing back in again from the story. We're going on to the next portion of the show. Again, the review portion. We're going to be going over Loki episode 3. And I'm excited about it. It's 1893. That's the title. Yes. Again, if you haven't seen it, you're more than welcome to stay and watch. We're going to be going over reviews, spoilers. If you haven't seen it,
determine whether or not you want to watch it yourselves. I will suggest to do it.
Yeah, so it's that good of a show as of right now. So, alrighty, we're going to go ahead and start. I was shocked to see again Renslayer jump into that era, right off the bat. So to be meeting someone and then it ended up being Miss Minutes, right? So what Miss Minutes said threw me off, bro. Like where she was just like, he had a failsafe. He told him he was not in control no more. Yeah. And then he yet still had a failsafe on the next side,
But I mean, that's king for you, like. This dude he's King the Conqueror for a reason. He's gonna have
the outs every time, you think? I mean,
especially when you control time, you can do anything.
Yeah, and then just what he says later on in the episode, So he to again have that failsafe, that TVA book, dropped off in that window at that exact moment in time, was crazy. Then again, it goes back to Ouroboros. Ouroboros, is like a little key, the comedic relief without being the comedic relief, if that makes sense. Like, he's not trying to be funny, but the way, he's like, ecstatic about it, the way he says it.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah, we're all gonna die. Like, you know what I mean? So
I love too when he's like, what's his Mobius is just like, well, we could just hack it. He's like, really? Great. And he's just like, no, I mean canon.
It was more of an idea. Yeah. Because he took it as a statement.
Yeah, we could definitely do this. He's like, awesome, do it. No. He's like, it was a suggestion.
But I like what he says because it comes back later into play. Is the what he mentioned about let's see. The loom was overexerting itself because the branches that Docs had, pruned were already growing back. Yeah. So her plan was backfiring regardless. But it was saying it was overexerting itself and he needed to increase, the diameter of the loom's intake ring, which was like, the way he explained it is like wasn't fitting, so they made it bigger. Yeah. That comes into play later when, Victor Timely is describing his loom.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's just freaking crazy. Again, like the way where he's at in his time period or whatever.
Yes.
But that's when we find out that Miss Minutes has a bigger play in the whole picture before the whole thing. Like, she was like, yo, give the book, but this part tells you, like, she's second in command. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, it confirms she's second in command.
There you go, confirms.
Ouroboros already was saying that, everything was run through Miss Minutes, and he just kind of, taps in along the way.
Mm-hmm. What is it?
He runs he does diagnostics and stuff every couple hundred years.
So I'm ready to see where she goes. Like, her character, like the way it came down to it in this episode was pretty cool. But then they went following her. Who was it? Loki and Mobius. Mm-hmm. They did like a real quick loop around, and they went into the 1868. At 1868, they went on to the sacred timeline. If you caught that, it said sacred timeline. They didn't see anything out of the norm, so they were like, why did they come here? And which is very upsetting. But again, they kind of pinned it on Miss Minutes, you know what I mean? So again, it clings onto the battle that they need Miss Minutes, you know what I mean? So Renslayer is second to Miss Minutes right now, you know what I mean? As far as importance as I take it. Yeah. And then they went to 1893 Chicago. The World Fair, right? But the branch timeline. Yes. Did you read about that? How why it was the branch timeline?
Well, I didn't read anything about it, but like just looking at it, I was like, he was never supposed to have that TVA book in the first place. And so Renslayer meets Miss Minutes in 1868, and Miss Minutes tells her to drop a package off into a window. And did you catch that was the same window that Loki and Mobius passed?
Yeah, right by it.
Right by it. And I was like, dude, they could have like technically stopped it if they had known.
But again, they didn't have Miss Minutes.
They didn't know anything. But yeah, she drops it off, and then Miss Minutes and them, I guess, go off somewhere, and it happened to be the TVA handbook from that Renslayer drops off to Victor Timely, who is a Kang variant. And
again, a failsafe, like he installed, knowing that it was when his end was coming near, and then even Renslayer was shocked that he had died. Miss Minutes was like, unfortunately, he's dead. So when they get to that 1893, they're there and they start talking about having to do the groundwork. It always leads into the next part, which I like Mobius as a character, because of that. And then this kid passes by them. And he's talking about like the ghost clock, haunting the Midway or something like that. Yeah. So then they just like, whoa, what? Like, so
like,
literally as we say that, as we said.
We're looking for breadcrumbs.
Yeah, exactly. You always on my same mind concept. Breadcrumbs it is, and then they see that little building of the gods, of Norse gods, where it was like Odin and Thor and Boulder, right? Yeah. And he's like, no one even knows Boulder. He's like, Boulder the Brave.
They do Boulder the Brave.
So, fun fact on that was apparently Boulder the Brave was supposed to come out on Thor Ragnarok. It was supposed to come out on Thor Love and Thunder, and then portrayed somewhere else. 3 different times, maybe.
It was supposed to be on there in the Illuminati.
No way, really? Okay. I didn't read that ever. Really?
That's where I heard it. I didn't hear Love and Thunder.
Maybe I'm mistaken. I might have to reread that article, but it said 3 times I think he was supposed to be like...
I think he was name dropped in one of them, and then he appeared in somewhere else, but I know they technically had him on multiple...
Daniel Craig already went, because it was Daniel Craig.
Yes, and they already had the artwork for him and everything.
I thought that was pretty dope, so I was... so when he said that, it was a little, Easter egg, like, no one knows who that guy is.
No one knows Boulder.
So, Boulder the Brave.
And then Mobius is like, I forget you're one of them.
He's like, you're one of them. Delan says, hey, what's going on, Delan?
How's it going?
Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. But we're talking right around where they were finding out Victor Timely. They went into the theater. They were like eating popcorn or whatever, and then
Cracker Jack, the year it was invented.
Shut up.
1893.
Shut up. It was Cracker Jacks?
Yeah.
No way. Oh man. See, I don't catch those things. That's pretty cool.
It was that, and then I love the name drop because I don't know if anybody does history stuff or the murder stuff, because I know some people are into like the murder mysteries and like history stuff like that. Mobius name drops H.H. Holmes.
He did say that.
Yeah.
What is that?
During the World Fair, H.H. Holmes was on his major killing spree. He had created a whole, like, it was like a murder hotel where with fake walls, beds that would fall into the floor.
What?
And he used the
in the real life?
Yeah.
No, but
in the sacred timeline.
That's right, the sacred timeline.
No, but yeah, he used that hotel. He built it had people build it for him. He made that thing himself.
In Chicago.
In Chicago, used the World Fair as hunting grounds. People came in, people disappeared, never came out of that place, and he was a major serial killer at that point. And a lot of people speculate that he was Jack the Ripper too, because that was around the same time. But it was cool to hear like a name drop like that too, because a lot of people are like, well, who's H.H. Holmes? And I don't know if you caught it, because I was like, I did pause it at the newspaper to see what articles they had. But in the articles, it was talking about the hotel, and they had the picture of it.
No way.
And they said, put on there, like,
of all times I didn't stop and read the newspaper part.
It was and the people, it said produced, like, put up by H.H. Holmes. And I was like, okay. That's
cool.
really cool. It was really awesome to see it.
Again, like, I like that Marvel does their homework, or has people that can do their homework. You know what I mean? And then to be greenlit to be put in there. You know what I mean? That's cool too. So.
But I mean, like, with something like that major in history, if you didn't like even name drop it once, it kind of. But I mean, even then, it's kind of people would have to look up the name if they didn't know. You know?
Yeah. I didn't know. I didn't even know that. So I just thought he was rambling off names. I was like, 2 names I knew and then 1 I didn't. You know, so. So when they did that, where'd they go after that? They were in that theater, and I thought that was cool. It was the tie back to the Quantumania, ending credit scene, which is that right there, and Renslayer went in, and then Loki and Mobius were right behind her.
Yes.
Jonathan Major, right off the bat, stole the show right there. You know, he was like just in that first little like introduction. I can't remember the word for word, but like time, whatever. And then he's just like, and then little like hop that he was doing. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, dude, he just immediately took over the screen. You know what I mean? Like even though it was the center point of it, that's what they were showing. Like. You forgot everything that was going on. You're like, you were interested in his presentation, his freaking presentation. Like it was, you were actually there watching the presentation. You know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely.
So I'm again glad that they brought him and kept him. You know what I mean? Like, so it was a key component. But we talked about it was, he had already filmed his part. They already done the editing, and then they were like, can't turn back.
We're already too far ahead. There's no. If we were to reshoot, it put everything behind schedule at that point. And at this point, I think the
massively, not just even like a little bit, like massively.
And then I think at that point too, when everything was going on, I think the strike had started, and so it was just like we can't reshoot now either.
So it would just would have been detrimental. But I'm glad it was such a good casting.
Dude, I love the different Kangs.
Oh yeah, like, instantly persona wise,
yes.
like all of them have their different characteristics. You know what I mean? So they showed the 3, and I wish I knew. I know one's Ramata, one oh my god,
I don't even remember that.
Emperor King, I think, or something like that. And something I can't remember.
You would think I remember because I recently watched Quantumania.
Oh, no way?
Yeah, and I was like, let me see how much I'm going to not like this movie again.
It was good. It was alright.
It was alright. The thing is, y'all made Kang look.
But apparently, is we haven't seen the actual Kang the Conqueror yet. Even though he says his name was Kang the Conqueror in it, he wasn't the actual Kang the Conqueror.
Where are you getting your information?
That was a one of the Marvel Studio little things that I read. So.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No, I feel like that's a cop out because they had Kang the Conqueror, who's name dropped, killing Thor and all the other Avengers in one of the timelines, was confirmed by Janet that he's gone through several different times, wiped out entire things, no problem. And now he's here, he's stuck. Okay, I can understand him being stuck. They isolated the other Kangs that had isolated.
Yeah. Because they were even saying they were upset that it wasn't one of them that took him out.
Yeah.
They were like,
But I'm like, for him to go out the way he did, it just bothered me. It was just like, y'all made him look weak. And that line, I was just talked to my wife about it this morning too. I was like, that line where he's just like, I will burn you out of time. And he's just right there and I was like, dude, people. That line, I was just like, you need to kill Ant-Man. I'm sorry, just die. You deserve to die.
The trilogy is good.
Yeah.
You have your successor.
Yeah. I was like, you deserve to die to show how powerful Kang really is.
Is he not key into Secret Wars? Like again, I don't know. Like I don't know personally if he is or not. Like
I don't think he is. I think it's more Reed Richards that is. But at this point too, it's the MCU. They're gonna do what they want. They're gonna change everything according to what they feel like. So
it goes back to like what we were saying. Yeah, they can. They have the comic book as a anchor, but they can write.
Even then, that's a pretty weak anchor sometimes.
So we've stated, I hope I'll verify on it. I'll come back with that. But I think I read that we haven't been introduced to the real Kang yet. But again, you make a good point because they made it a statement to make sure that they were upset that they weren't the one that took him out. He was banished by someone, somewhere,
the other Kangs.
Yeah, to that location, out of time and space because he couldn't do nothing. You know what I mean? So. But yeah, Victor Timely, he's really good. He's really good. He gets he's like a con man in a way.
Yeah.
So his advice is work during the presentation, and you can tell like he's in a rush.
Yeah.
So
when he's leaving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then again, he just his character, his mannerisms, it's just so crazy, bro. $1,000 again. I think they get up to $1,000, like confidently. So you can tell like the difference in time. $1,000 was probably like $10 million or $100 million, so much money in 1893. You know what I mean? So they were throwing it around like that. So. But yeah, he offers him $1,000. He's like, deal. Walks off like he's like, come with me. Let's go. Like if you need to talk to me, like we're gonna talk outside.
Yeah, we gotta move.
So
that's something I wanted to ask you if you noticed too, because when he's leaving, you see him put some money under somebody's hat, right? It was the guy who was bidding against the one that bought it for $1,000. That was his partner, and he was having. It was like he
was using them to raise the price.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. Because at that point when he's like $1,000, he's like, oh, and he's like makes a facial expression where you're like, why is he doing that? But it's basically his way of saying, drop it. I'm taking that. You get a piece.
Interesting. I didn't catch that.
And then when he puts the money in the hat, that was his way of like, we're square now.
We're square.
Yeah.
What? You catch the good stuff.
I was like,
that's because I watched it twice.
I did too.
But that's dope. So again, con artist right off through and through.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like we'll get to that. So thought process, no. So then they go after him. Who was right behind him? No, that didn't happen.
He's walking off with Renslayer, But then Loki and Mobius are both right there on the other side of him too. Both of them are trying to pull him one way.
And they start like talking to each other down, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, she's a liar. You know,
you can't trust him and this and
yeah,
that.
Yeah. Okay, I remember that part. And then they take off. She takes off with him, or he takes off by himself because someone's after him, right?
Yes.
They're like, hey, your device was
your trousers, they didn't make me any taller at all. And I love that because he's like, you seem taller to me, but then gets hunches over to make himself look shorter. He's like, well, bring him back to me later and I'll fix him for you. But I love
just
that.
like that, just was able to like sway that guy just rather and on a whim, dude, on a whim, like to think about it, you know what I mean? So he's like, you got expandable trousers, like yeah. So dude, he got again stole the show. There was all three of them: Renslayer, Mobius, and Loki, and then Jonathan Major just came in hard, like you know what I mean. So perfect fit to the the trio,
cast,
the cast. And then they went into the Ferris wheel, right?
Because at that point they're still walking out, and then the guy he sold it was like a primitive time loom.
Oh, we skipped that completely.
Yeah, he does like the demonstration David was talking about. It was like a primitive time loom, and he's talking about how you can harness time and
light and
reverse the entropy of the electricity to like harness that
on the other side
and create a loom.
Create
he explains it so
it's so
cool, but then you could tell like after he's taken off, he's like, it doesn't work the way he wanted it to. And the guy's like, hey, your machine was faulty, I want my money back. And so they start taking off, and he's just like, he's going after him, and they go onto the Ferris wheel. And
that loom is freaking nice, though. Yeah. Again,
the effects on it were really good. I feel like that was actually practical effects. I feel like they probably...
You think so?
Because Tesla coils and the little plasma balls that you could put your finger on, and you could control where they go technically, so it would have been a pretty good.
I wouldn't mind looking that up. To see, Yeah. But Double O Badger tuning in. Why does Ant-Man have a bowl cut? Oh, and it's for Spirit of Halloween. He needed to grow some hair for a
this
costume
is his disguise.
Yeah,
This is Ant-Man. Was it variant?
The one that works at Baskin Robbins.
Yes.
The one that works at Baskin Robbins.
I love that one. He's like, you got this.
Yeah.
The only one.
Of all the time, people, his thought processes, there was one that was, well, what if I was here and I was in Baskin Robbins? Like, oh man. So, well, let's see where. So he, the time loom was pretty cool. I really enjoyed, the primitive aspect that you were talking about. So he later on describes, that during that time period, it can't hold his mind. You know what I mean? Like the things that he's trying to create. He's held back by the time he's there. In the time period.
And I feel like that was said somewhere else too, like not like Marvel, but like in other movies or anime or whatever, but it's just like that's what it is. One Piece. You're with oh man, I forgot his name, but there's a character in One Piece who's like super brilliant and like top of the line, like basically like an Einstein type person.
The little kid,
no,
Child Emperor.
No, you're thinking of One Punch Man.
Oh, One Piece. One Piece. Yeah, my fault.
But I forget. Oh man, I lost it again. Real time brain disconnect right there, guys. But that character, he's super bright, but he's halted by the technology of the age. His brain is 10, 20 years ahead, but the technology that he has is not able to produce what he wants. So that's what, like, it's cool to see Timely say that too. He's like, it's basically a steampunk version of what he's trying to get. He's like, I see what I could do, but I can't reach its full potential. And it just like, it's so crazy to think that he would have never had those ideas if it wasn't for the TVA manual.
Yeah. But to even again to get so much from probably stuff that he didn't understand, you know what I mean? Like to be able to like understand it. But guys, this is gonna be awkward. You might have to carry the show. I need to go to the restroom. I've been drinking a lot of water today. I apologize, guys.
Sorry for the interruption. You know, some of us are a little bit more professional. I'm playing, but maybe not. But let's see, guy. Oh, I don't know if he'll appreciate this or not, but Victor Timely, when they dropped off the TVA manual in the beginning, he was a candle maker, and candles at that time in 1868 were used to make alarms too. They would put a nail into the candle, and as it burned, it would wake them up at the time they wanted to wake up at, so that way the nail would actually clang and they'll be aware. I had to leave a streamer due to potty in my day. Well, I bet he'll feel very good about that, Double O Badger. This honestly, as many times as we've done this so far, I'm surprised he hasn't happened earlier. So, appreciate it so far. I don't know what notes he has, and that's for him to discuss, I guess, but Victor Timely, I think Double O Badger, you could help me out with this one. The Victor Timely is one of the alternate versions of Kang when he wants to come and take over the past timelines, and he like tries to create robots and stuff, if I'm not mistaken. Last episode was kind of filler, but also had good meat, except for tomorrow, for sure. Yeah. Are you talking about episode 3 entirely? I mean, it was kind of interesting. I could see the filler aspect you're saying, though. Double O Badger saved you. He said, he had to go potty in a couple of his streams before, so.
All right. I when you made that comment of unprofessional, I was just like, shook my head. I was like, God dang it. I apologize, guys. That was the first. Again, I don't drink water. That's a fact about me. I hate water. But I've been drinking a lot of water here lately, and my body's not used to it. So I was just like, oh, not gonna make it. We getting good into this new show, so I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna make it to the end of the show.
The hydration hit him.
Straight up.
Yeah, it just seemed to take forever. The third one was, I think in the middle it took a lot longer. He's talking about the episode 3 feeling a little bit more like filler.
Oh, this one here?
Yeah.
Okay. I can see what you're talking about, where like right in the middle, where the Ferris wheel part. The Ferris wheel part like seemed to have, kind of had a point, but it was just kind of there.
I feel like it was more like some of the Ferris wheel, and then like the boat ride, the ferry ride with Renslayer after the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, where he kind of like gave her a look when he said partnership.
Yeah.
Partnership, because he didn't like the word partnership. I'm guessing.
He's like, I don't do part. He said that in the beginning too, so it kind of. But we're jumping ahead.
Oh, okay.
Because we haven't finished the Ferris wheel yet.
Oh, dude, I drink nothing but water. No, I got told by the doctor, like, you drink one bottle of water, and I was like, no, hold on, correction. If that, a bottle of water.
He drinks one a week.
And so they told me I need to hop on the hydration. So again, my body's not used to. I drank a big old jug of water, so it was bad. It was,
I'm a Double O Badger on this one. I drink a lot of water. Like
again, the only time it wasn't until like literally in the last 2 years that I found out the difference in water. I was one of those like. Water's water. It tastes the same. Like you get out of the faucet, it tastes the same as regular water. And so it took a while. Again, it wasn't until my nephew was like, "You would like some water?" And I was like, "Nah." I was like, "You don't got anything else?" He's like, "No, water in this family." I was like, all right. He's like, you've never had water like this before, though. And he like pours it from a Brita filter, but he filtered it from the the faucet to the Brita filter into so double filtered. Yeah. And he pours it, and I was just like, oh my goodness. And so that I started doing that, and that is when I started when I would go to the store and get 7-Eleven water. Yeah. Like it was just like now I can taste your minerals. You know what I mean? Like,
he's like it'll be good for you to drink water, and he's like, oh hell no, all water is not good. I'm telling you. Honestly, I don't know if anybody will agree with me on this because I had worked at Starbucks and I told you, and I was always like, their water's so good, and especially with the ice, it's just so cold. I was like, the water's so good. Well, I don't know what it is, and I found out they filter it 5 times. So
I think you were telling me. Yeah.
So I'm like, I totally understand filtered water is the
bee's knees.
But don't get me wrong, that bottle of Fiji water is still pretty good to me too.
Yeah. And then my wife drinks the Smart Water. Smart Water. So, but yeah. So now I know water's not the same. So again, I apologize everybody if you came in. I had to run off screen. But yeah, back to the story. You said we're in the Ferris wheel. He just got blasted in by. When did Sylvie show up?
Right then. So he's running away from the dude that.
And then she pops into the crowd.
And she pops in and she Victor Timely goes into the Ferris wheel, then ducks while the guy goes in after him, and then crawls back out, and the door's closed, so he's able to do a little maneuver around him. And then when the next one comes, that's when Sylvie blasts him and Loki into the empty carriage.
So I feel that part right there could have been skipped, a little bit,
or a little bit faster. But I think they kind of wanted to do the whole Ferris wheel ride around. Because they did start moving.
Concept-wise, yeah, okay. Keeping it real with time as far as if it moves that fast.
I mean, time is everything, so. You know what? It's better than you going to the restroom.
Sorry. I had a better conversation with Double O Badger than you.
You know what, Double O Badger?
So,
I'll have to talk to you after this.
She's really holding on to what they did to her. I mean, again, would you, if you were in her position, just taking, again, what we talked about out of your childhood, hold that type of animosity, or would it have gotten out of your system, killing the original king, or what you had thought?
You got to think about it in her way too. If he's allowed to come back, everything she did is undone. He's just gonna fix it all and redo it so that she never did it.
So you think she should start seeing that in a way?
That's how she sees it. If she doesn't keep him suppressed, he's gonna come back and everything she did is no longer.
Okay.
So she's trying to make sure
hold herself true to that.
Yes.
What she did is she's carrying out her mission.
Yeah.
All the way through.
Yeah. I'll kill every single one. Because they all pose that threat, and I love how she puts it too. Because she's the way she said it, she's he would have been known if you guys never dropped that book into his hands, and she thought it was Loki.
Back to that branch town timeline that they're in.
Yeah, because technically he never should have had it.
Yeah,
but Loki, I guess she thinks Loki and Mobius gave it to him, but it was Renslayer, so now she's just blaming anybody. And she's he can't...
Blind to who's really,
who's really doing it. And so she's he can't be allowed to reach this power again. So I was I understand her point, because that whole time paradox of being able to undo everything that has happened, the only issue with that is then he would never have come into power. So it's just that loop that kind of happens.
Okay. Let's see. I think it was just meant to set up how shady Renslayer and Miss Minutes really is.
They know more than they let on. Definitely.
Towards the end, yeah. So,
there's that theory going around, and I don't know how true it is, because especially if we know a little bit of the comics, but the theory is going around saying that Renslayer is a Kang variant from another...
Variant? I thought it was his love interest.
In the comics it is, but they're trying to put it in the MCU that probably is a Kang variant. Like, I mean,
Interesting.
even if
I
it's
haven't heard that one.
even if it is his love interest, Sylvie and Loki are love interest technically, and it's a variant of himself.
Okay.
So if Kang and Renslayer,
but I never heard that theory.
I heard that theory because everybody's like, oh, we know that it could be a gender swap and whatnot, and I'm like, that's interesting. The only issue with that I see, well, it could be confirmed if they were able to take Renslayer back to the TVA and somehow her temper aura matched the He Who Remains. But
the only way I don't see it maybe working is Miss Minutes.
Yes.
Miss Minutes.
But she did have a secret at the end. So we don't know if the secret is... I don't know. We'll discuss that when we get there.
We'll get there.
Is the... Oh, snap. That would be more interesting.
What part?
The Renslayer being the King variant. Yeah. It would be a very
good
twist.
It would be a freaking curveball from the from the infield, bro. Like
it'll be a good twist. I mean, I wouldn't have expected that, especially. I mean, I give it to the MCU to do whatever they want to do, but keep some comic book lore. So technically, Renslayer would be his love interest, but it's also your variant. So they already set the precedence with Loki and Sylvie doing that. So why not King?
Thinking.
So, yeah.
Well, that would though, everybody should be like, what? Like, like, whoosh, like, hold. We thought, Victor Timely was the only variant in this show. You know what I mean? So, that would be crazy. So,
so then we go from the Ferris wheel to the ferry. Somehow, how did he escape again? Oh, Loki let him go. He held Sylvie back, didn't he, or something?
I believe so. He ran to his safe.
Yeah, he ran to like a little safe house.
Safe house.
And he had a chair that was able to recline and had a freezer in it.
And that was Renslayer with Miss Minutes, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But that was with Victor.
He was showing her that, and that's when he goes off and talks about his time, like his time period, holding him back to, the realms of his,
what his knowledge is compared to what he can do.
And then he wants to meet Ouroboros.
Yeah, because he's the one that wrote all this, and it was so amazing and everything. Yeah, like that was really cool.
The Ouroboros goes hard. That's a big one. I can't read it. Interesting. I don't know what that means, but okay. So.
Thanks, Badger.
I was like, can you do that? Let me see.
I don't know if we could do it that way.
I don't think I can, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
So
no! Guys, it's like, oh my. Bear with us,
do
guys.
you know what we could have did is just went to the straight page.
This page?
Sorry, no, it was on the Hydeout, yeah.
This page?
Sorry, no, it was on the Hydeout.
Sorry, guys. So.
First time we're doing this, so...
Yeah, so this is first for us. I don't know.
Technical difficulty here.
So upsetting. Alright, so I can't see Facebook's no more. Okay, back to it. But we're not going to hold on to that. So, lost my streaming side on Facebook at the moment. But, okay, so yeah. He tells her all that stuff. And then you could tell he's like starting to dig her, right? Like he's starting to give that vibe, off to her and stuff. I think I'm ready for that part to come into play. Is maybe they'll catch the recording of when he tells her you're a Marvel. Like I'm glad to work with you or whatever. Yeah. So it just makes me get to the point, where you said in the ferry where they, we're talking about everything, and she says that partnership. how quick she was to like. He was to judge her, and then Miss Minutes was like, you know, right on top of it, like, you know what I mean, like
Miss Minutes was getting jealous already.
Yeah,
She's
bro,
like,
she
nah, I don't like
vibe.
this.
Like she was already walking around like, hey, I'm here too, like you know
and
what I
then
mean?
that like eye that she gave her, she's like, get away.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see where that plays out because then right after that ferry. And she was still on it. Yo, Rister did not give up, bro. She was just like, oars, like, we going. Like, you know, I'm about to, you know, roll with it, you know what I mean? So,
like, right before that, she's like, well, I can't wait to see where this partnership goes. And then I think Miss Minutes tells him, she's like, tells him throw her overboard or whatever. And then
it might be,
and then
she passes out, right? Something happens?
I think she goes to sleep.
Okay.
And then she, when she wakes up, the boat was falling, and it's just like,
and then it just dropped. And So
And then Miss Minutes is right there with Timely, and she's like, "Well, you heard her. You had to do it." She said partners, and he's like, "We don't do partners." And I was just like, "Okay." So I feel like Miss Minutes kind of orchestrated that.
Yeah, Jelly got in his head.
Yeah.
Jelly.
But
tell you. She becomes interesting right when it happened where they go into his lab and he's there, you know, and he's like gathering everything, got everything he needed.
Yeah.
That was an interesting part. So that little trophy.
Yeah.
You know what it is, right?
It looked like the thing he had in Quantumania, right?
He's like, this is the culmination of all my life's work.
Yes.
Like, oh, bro, when he did that little like where it flipped and then flipped back, I was like, ooh, this show is doing so good, finally like connecting all the dots, you know,
like pulling everything together now.
Yeah. He's like, let's just show.
It's using the loom to tie all the threads.
Yeah, like, you know, tying it all together again. Like it's like, I give the writers credit for that. You know what I mean? Like they're getting everything from everywhere to finally make it make sense. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what we've been asking. You know what I mean? Like to make it make sense, but also to show how big of a threat, Kang is. You know what I mean? Like,
Kang needs to be really shown.
But he's making up like you said, making up for that Quantumania, disaster. You know what I mean? Carried off by ants. You know what I mean? Like, so when he does that, and then he's like, all right, let's go. We're good to go. You know what I mean? Like, let's get out of here. And it's just like. So, like, I want to talk to you about something, you know what I mean? And she, like, when she does all that little creepy, face on the ragdoll.
She's like, I was an AI created to play chess, but then you allowed me to grow my own AI. You allowed me to get my own subconscious. The only thing you didn't allow me was to get a body. And she's like, I could be, like, I don't think she said partner, but she's like, I could be somebody important to you, too. And she, like, puts her face over the mannequin face.
She's scary, bro.
And I was like, okay. And then he's like, no, I don't want this. Click. And he like
zooms her right. He's the one that blips her out.
Yeah, he like
clips her out. She's getting sketch, but again, it's gonna tie together. What's that?
Double magic.
He want a little bit of that locomotive, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, like Miss Minutes was wanting it for sure. Like,
Timely said we can make time.
Time is irrelevant, So, but that too, right? Like she said that they've been together since the beginning. Like, he created her because he had nobody. Yeah, and then they've been there through it all. So I can see, Miss Minutes getting jelly. You know what I mean? Especially AI. Running its own thought concepts. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
She was allowed to expand her own mind until, like, indefinitely. At this point, she could do whatever.
Yeah, she was AWOL. Like, she's not at the TVA where she should have, technically be. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. Yeah, so
she was laying it on thick. Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was.
She was trying to go hard for that one.
She was going as thick as peanut butter, bro.
You know what? Now that I think about it, though, because I mentioned this briefly with Double O Badger, and I don't know if he could confirm it with me, but Victor Timely in the comics was a variant of Kang that created robot AI in the
and
past.
left it right.
And was able to harness. He had like a backdoor to control all robotics from that point on. So when the mannequins are almost like a foreshadowing of that, but then when Miss Minutes put her face over that, what if she's the AI that takes over all the robots?
Really? Is that a part of the Secret War arc?
I think it was part of it at one point, but I'm not sure.
Isn't there Reed Richards variant? It's like his son is Kang's variant or something like that?
Kang is
or
a
Reed
descendant.
Richards, yeah.
Kang is a descendant of Reed Richards.
There we go. Yeah. Dude, that would be intense.
What's he saying?
Snap. That's a cool theory. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, the way this guy thinks is completely outside the realm. Like, I take it at face value, and I'm like a little kid, like, yeah, that's so cool. Like, you're just like, nope. He threw it to the right and it went left. Like, you know what I mean? Like, throw it out.
I just kind of came up with that theory right now too, because we're talking about it, and just the concept of just like, why does he have mannequins in there in the first place too?
Yeah, why so many? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, you take some of the comic book lore, apply it a little bit to what they did right here, and you could kind of mismatch.
It goes back to, did she have the creative freedom, or was Kevin Feige really hard on this one? I can't remember. I remember we read that he was dictating it really hard.
Yeah.
It might be this one.
It might have been
where she didn't have the free range of being, running that, and I think that's where they're going right now. They're gonna make sure that it's pilot episode first to see if it's gonna catch instead of just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be freaking cool theory. Like that it plays into Secret Wars. You know what I mean? The culmination of Secret Wars is gonna be intense. Again, I just so ready.
That and the Kang Dynasty. One of those two would be perfect for that to go through.
And what are they gonna do with all those variants? They can't just tease that in Quantumania, millions of these variants, and they're about to unleash them. Unleash them where? What are we about? What are we about to see? You know what I mean? It kind of goes into that. The thought of, oh my God, it's the off of Guardians of the Galaxy, off of where he was planting his seeds in all the planets, but this is on a multiversal scale. You know what I mean? This was, Ego was doing it, for just planetary, purposes. This dude's multiversal, So, and I like that they bring incursions. I think he talks about that in Quantumania, where he's talking with Janet Van Dyne in the room, and he's talking about multiple incursions, etc. Again, explaining his reason, Again, the variants they stand out from one another, and I love that Jonathan Majors doing it. You know what I mean? Complete different. And then I don't know if you saw it on Quantumania, the strength, just sheer power, just one punch, dude down. You know what I mean? How strong he was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ant-Man just regularly using human punches. You know what I mean? And Kang was just down one hit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So. The strength that he put, again, to be carried away by ants. This is
that made me so upset.
But what else? I probably want to go back and watch and see what's on the board. He doesn't erase the board, so I don't feel like it's important. He did get some papers.
Behind him?
Yeah. He had pieces stashed everywhere, so that's pretty cool to know that one blueprint wasn't all in one place. You know what I mean? It was such a good idea that he needed to break up his idea into multiple pieces.
It kind of brings me back to Iron Man. The very first one, when he was creating the armor, it was all
the layers.
And then when you overlay them, that's what now that you're saying that.
I didn't even think about that, but the little tie back where had different layers of the plan.
Yeah.
So when he it goes back to, again, all these devices were held to his time constraint. Renslayer shows up, with a freaking, prune stick, machine gun, what's up?
It was one of those, at that time it would have been, well, it's not a blunderbuss, but yeah, like it looked like one of those like you said, a machine gun.
Tommy
shot.
gun, or
Yeah.
what is it? Like not a Tommy gun, just like something that The Rock would wear over his shoulder, like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So she shows up hard. Threatening it was no, because Miss Minutes already got blipped out. Like he already timed her out. He was mad at him.
Yeah.
She was mad at him for what he was doing. Like
how
you
he
threw
dropped
me.
her,
How you gonna drop me off? Like you know what I mean. I got you what you needed. I gave you that book. You know what I mean. Like.
And then she's like, from now on, everything goes according to me, and she's like, I'm gonna be in charge.
And then again, he just plays it so good. He's like, oh, like,
when his acting is so good,
dude. When he came in, what was it? So Loki and Mobius come in.
Yes.
And he's on his knees already. And then Sylvie just shows up again.
Yeah, she like blasts through the doors.
So
and Loki's still trying to talk her out of killing him.
How do you think she feels when he was like, I'm different?
I find that extremely cool because like at that point Sylvie has him dead to rights. Like she has the sword right there on him. She's like, she's like, he can't be allowed to exist, and he's like, well, I'm different. He's like, I didn't do any of the things that you did through. Yeah. He's like, you got to give me a chance. And then I think at that moment she's like, do I want to be the TVA? Because she's essentially doing what the TVA did for them.
Yeah, because she's just gonna prune him, or like take him out. I'm taking out just how they would have taken me out, whatever. So, did you think that she would have minded it? I personally was hoping that she was. I was like, she's about to read his mind, or like, that
would have been cool. I didn't think that. I just thought she
kind of like on Quantumania. That's why I thought about it. Like it was when she touched the orb or whatever, and like she saw all of his destruction and killing of timelines or whatever. Yeah. I thought that's what she was about to do. Like to know. That's where I thought it was gonna go. She's gonna read his mind, see that he was really gonna do something bad, and then she was gonna try to lose it, and then pin Loki against her again.
Okay.
So that was where I thought the direction was gonna go. So
she really related though. Her life was taken from her, and she finally realized she was becoming what she hated. Yep. Yeah. So it's.
Intricate.
It was an intricate. It was a very interesting way to see it because at that moment you could see she's like
take him from him now.
She was like contemplating like I should kill him and he deserves it, but when he like he's like please like I'm different, I'm not like them, and she was just like if they had listened to me like that, I would have been able to live my life freely. So she's just like, I'm going to give him the chance that I never got. And she's like, all right, take him and I'll handle Renslayer. And it was just like, dang, like, okay.
That was a really good moment. Really turned the episode again to now we're going to see because they're going to take him to the TVA.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, that was a good clip. Again, a good cliffhanger. I like what she says, though. Like, when she, like, finally confronts Renslayer and Renslayer is like, I bet you've been waiting for this moment, and she's like, I thought about this a million times, you know what I mean? Like, and now that this moment is happening, what did she say? I don't see no satisfaction or something.
Like, I don't really remember exactly what she said. All I remember is she was like, you always wanted a seat at the end of time, and you're finally going to get what you want. And she kicks her through the door.
Again, that
how did she get... Oh, no. When Renslayer had Timely by herself, she had took the temp pad or whatever it was away from him.
I thought she still had the disc one.
She did, but Miss Minutes was attached to the one Timely had.
Renslayer took it, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Renslayer took it.
Yeah, Renslayer, yeah.
I was thinking about Sylvie.
No, Renslayer took
it. Yeah.
So that way, when Sylvie kicked her through the door, she... Renslayer brought out Miss Minutes, and Miss Minutes is like finishing the last sentence, and she's like, "I love you," though, or something. I forget what she said, but she like had popped out and finished whatever she was telling Timely.
No way, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch that. I didn't catch that part.
and she's like, oh, like you
Yep.
again, and she's just like, and they look, and I love how you could see
The dead body.
the dead body, and I think that was actually in the comics too, like that scene of the dead body. Of
Oh no way.
Remains,
Okay.
yeah.
On
So-
what? On the Secret Wars concept.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there was like a version of him like that.
Yeah,
and
like-
you could see him like decaying.
Dude, I love that building. I
Yeah.
like that little like window that sees all the branch timelines in
Yes.
the background and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that was the part that Dolo Badger was saying earlier. They both have secrets, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when they said that,
Yes.
she's like, I know a secret about you, you know what I mean?
And you're gonna be mad about it. though.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm wondering. Like, so she don't even know the secret.
Yeah.
Renslayer don't even know it. Like, what's
Which brings it back to the theory I just posed. Like, is she a variant of Kang? But Kang wiped her own, technically
His
her
own
memory.
mind.
Yeah, to put her in charge. Because Renslayer being in charge of the TVA, I'm like, whatever she did helped, but why would you trust anybody but yourself to be in charge?
because again, he already had trust
Yeah,
issues.
very big trust issues. And I like some people were suggesting that
bro.
Ouroboros was a variant of Kang.
And stuff, man. like, you just like this is like really like bug you at night, like.
Honestly, sometimes it does. Sometimes I'll be laying there, I'm like, so what if?
Yeah, like, why did she say that? Like,
But then other times too, just talking to you about it, like
brings up
Yeah,
a good thought process.
yeah.
I'm the
It
same
creates
way.
my own
When
branch
you-
theories.
When you literally say that, I'm like, yeah, that I can see that. And
Yeah.
then it goes through my own theory after
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So that's freaking.
I did read another theory supposedly that people were saying Ouroboros was going to be
A variant.
a variant of Kang.
I hope not. I
But
hope he's
if
not.
that was the case, then the temporal aura would have
Would've
technically
worked, yeah.
read. The only issue is the temporal aura is tied to the time of the person on the branch, isn't it?
No, I think it's just his aura.
Of just the person.
Okay. I think he said he would remain. So I think just his basically DNA. I think is what it is. You know what I
basically
mean?
your
So-
life essence. Yeah.
So, but again, it goes back to your theory that you said if Renslayer showed up and it like unlocked because that was
That would prove the theory. Yes.
that would be different. That would be crazy.
And that'd be cool.
So that'd be interesting, honestly. I mean, for like beep, 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 and they're like, whoa, like
Yes.
it freaking unlocked
They're like,
when you
hold
showed
on,
up.
why?
Yeah. But we're about to find out. I think it might not be able to find out because they're about to take Victor Timely straight to
the TVA. Yeah.
So,
That's the only thing. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah. So
We'll
I
find
think
out.
I'm ready to see what he's gonna do when he sees his temporal loom in the
Yes,
future.
and
you know what
the
I mean?
actually in like working.
I
condition.
think the meeting of him and Ouroboros is gonna be critical.
Yeah, definitely.
Him meeting Ouroboros, something's gonna happen. I feel like again in the time scale of things, like
Yeah.
him meeting him is what makes him succeed into the other level. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll like become.
Branches it one more time. You know what I mean? Like,
branch of a branch.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah.
Like just
That'd be an interesting.
speeds up his time.
Like, what if meeting him unlocks the other Kang's memories somehow?
Oh, like the whole
Yes.
Ouroboros Loki scene. Ooh, man. I hope it don't secret invasion us, man. I hope they don't secret invasion us. But it goes back to episode 4 is the bigger one.
That's always
the hitter.
Yeah.
So if it comes, it's gonna be pretty good tomorrow, guys. So again, that's the end of it as of right now. Again, it ended with Miss Minutes and Renslayer at the end of time at the Citadel of End of Time.
No mid-credit scenes.
No mid-credit scenes again. But we talked about it, so let's see how it plays out because again, episode 4 always seemed to have been that that tie around. So hopefully episode 4 really brings it in, and again we're gonna coin this term here. I hope it don't secret invasion us. Like it's gonna be coined right now on the Hydeout. What was another?
Along with that one, I still want to have the get Grooted.
You just got Grooted.
That's gonna be a thing for me because I was like, my wife and I were watching something, and this dude just got like a whole hand through it. I was like, he got Grooted. My wife's like, what? I was like, secret invasion. It's a thing now for me.
We gotta get a shirt with like a branch coming out like 3D way.
Yeah, I don't know, somebody's heart or something.
Yeah, Grooted.
When we get it, we'll have to create a store for it.
I'm telling you, merch now.
Well, not yet, but we'll.
Click the link. But yeah, so secret invading us. I really hope they don't drop the ball after episode 4.
Yeah.
Because again, it was disappointing. Episode 5, teetered off, and then just downhill.
Episode 6 was like the lowest point for me.
But again, back to they're changing it, so I'm excited. They're changing the format, so we're gonna get better format of these shows. But Loki's still holding down the fort with as far as like timing, the thrill, the comedy. I mean, it's
just the acting in general.
I'm about to say the
just
acting
so
is just right on point. The acting is right on point. They're putting their emotions how they're supposed to, etc. So it's gonna be interesting. So again, guys, we have a busy schedule up ahead. Stay tuned with us. I'm glad y'all jumped in and chimed in and let us know your opinions. We will be back next week on the same time, and then after that we'll again keep you posted on our schedule.
Yeah.
So again, guys, we're signing out. It was another episode of the Hideout.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank y'all for a good time. We'll see y'all next time.
See you guys later.
We're still.
We're locked out right now, maybe.
Hi guys, we're still here. Psych.
Well, this is awkward. What was that on? That was something where maybe I don't know.
Let me see. Hi, Mom. Beep. I'm ready to put that.
It's we need that well, what we didn't talk about too was the opening Marvel credits.
Oh, good.
Yeah.